Hey everyone, Sky here to discuss Rambo 3, starring Sylvester Stallone, Richard Crenna, and Kurtwood Smith, and directed by Peter MacDonald. Now, this is the one that I have not yet seen out of the Rambo series. This is the one that this will be my first and second viewing of this movie, because this is my only viewing of this movie. And what do I think of it? Let's get into it. We start off in an American embassy in Thailand with Sam Troutman, returned by Richard Crenna, with Griggs, played by Kurtwood Smith, who's always played dumbasses in 3 examples I can give. One of them is RoboCop, the original RoboCop, might I add. The other one is Dead Poets Society is number 2. And number 3, and this one's by far my favorite dumbass, and that 70s show, to find John Rambo, returned by Sylvester Stallone, finding a man with sticks as weapons, and that was a good but not great opening to anyone who watched this before Rambo 1 and 2. But here, I think despite he's not in this movie much, Kurtwood Smith doesn't play a dumbass in this movie, and I kind of like these characters just a little bit. Troutman and Griggs offers Rambo a job in Afghanistan with Troutman, but he declines until Troutman gets captured behind enemy lines. Rambo gets to Pakistan, to a village where Griggs has a contact and a gun shop, and he takes Rambo to Afghanistan with weapons, and it's a fucking war zone in Afghanistan. And Rambo could get killed, but maybe he wants a funeral with Troutman, which was a bizarre but a kind of a good choice. But I'll explain why. Because for this movie, we didn't go to war with Afghanistan until 9/11/2001. That's a lot of people didn't respect this movie when all this was going on, and it was shot in 1988, for Christ's sakes. So it makes sense. So wait till I get to next movie where it's in Burma, which is a real fucking war zone. A helicopter comes in and blows up the village, and Rambo saves the village with a big ass machine gun and blows its ass up. And my problem with this action, to me, is it makes me go back to the war with Afghanistan back in the early 2000s, which did piss me off to go back there. And Rambo finds the villain, and I can't figure out his fucking name because he doesn't matter, and it makes me go back to the next movie's villain. Well, I won't get the name either, and I'll get there when I get there. The kid in the village who can't remember his name because he doesn't matter either, goes with Rambo and the contact to find Troutman, as the kid's parents are dead. And as soon as he comes in, I'm like, you've got to be fucking kidding me. Because this movie, with the plot, is a downer, and is no longer a Rambo movie with Sylvester Stallone with the action sequences that are very weak. Rambo finds Troutman as the battle in the prison gets started, and the kid gets shot, and Sam goes to Rambo as he picks up the kid and fights the terrorists, and he finds a way out. And Rambo shoots a bazooka and escapes, and Troutman says he'll find the bad guy, which was utterly stupid. Rambo tells the contact and the kid to go without him, and heals his own wound by putting it on fire, which was odd, as the next morning he goes getting Troutman the hell out of prison, and I thought, yes! That's what I wanted from a Rambo movie. And he frees the other prisoners and puts them in a helicopter, and one drops and the helicopter gets shot and goes down, and it wasn't as rough landing as I was honestly expecting. Rambo and Troutman going in a manhole, and the terrorists come inside to find both Troutman and Rambo calls himself the bad guy's worst nightmare, which is a total cliche as far as scaring the crap out of someone goes. The bad guy's army surrounds Rambo and Troutman, and they decide to fight them and blow every single motherfucker up, and they retreat because the village people come to the rescue, and they all shoot the bad guys up as Rambo hits a tank with a glass of fire, which was very stupid, Then you've got a helicopter versus a tank, and what ends up winning? The fucking tank. And I call bullshit, because that's not the way it's supposed to work. And I felt very unconvinced, and this was so fucking unrealistic. Let's just get to the end of this, I mean. Now it's time for the rating. I'll give this movie a 3.8 out of 10. This has got to be the stupidest Rambo movie I've seen all of my life, and this is my first and second viewing for this show, but I do like Rambo, Troutman, and Griggs barely, but unfortunately they're surrounded by a terrible, terrible script and movie. So please, whatever you do, do not watch this. If you're, especially after 9/11, do yourself a favor. Don't fucking watch this movie. So we'll be back next time with Rambo, not just Rambo 3 or Rambo First Blood part whatever. This is just called Rambo. And until then, nothing is over!